Howdy everyone, sorry that it's been like 8 months since I actually made a fucking video. I just had the worst year of my life, and I am still in the process of it. Let me just have this, alright? We good? You don't need to fucking leave comments acting like I'm your dad that left and got milk. Oh, thank you for 25k subs, that just happened. I'm very happy you've all been enjoying my stuff even when I've been, preoccupied with life. Let's try to keep this brief. If you want to be a real sweetheart and help me out, like and subscribe. I have a Ko-Fi, I have a Blue Sky, a Twitter, whatever. And you can... What the fuck is hype? Guess hype the video, sure. I feel like an old man, I'm fucking 20. Okay, so, Dual Rulers, an anime based on Guilty Gear. I'm sure we've all seen... Okay, I'm sure we've all heard... Okay, fine. This thing is an 8-episode miniseries set after the events of Guilty Gear Strive with the main intent of introducing brand new character Unica, and it was okay. I mean, it's fine. You should watch it. As a team art creator, I must say, the only legal place to watch it outside of Japan is Crunchyroll. Sorry to wait this long before getting into the actual show, but like, the marketing for this was kind of weird. They announced it in July of 2024 with just teasers, and then like, kind of slowly announced stuff, but it felt like most of the marketing was from the Japanese side of things, but I didn't really notice because I was being a sicko and trying to get all the info for the wiki purposes, and then I blacked out, and then it was April 2025. The Japanese Guilty Gear account had a bunch of like promo images and stuff hyping up the characters and had messages from the voice actors and like giveaways of signed copies of the scripts, and we did not get anything of the sort. I don't really know what happened behind the scenes that made ArcSys or Crunchyroll not really market it, but all I know is I saw a lot of people say they didn't even know the show was out. I was watching each episode the day they came out, and you can tell because I created all of the pages for the episodes and Unica and Nerville on the wiki. Now that's an alibi that could surely hold up in court. I don't actually watch anime, so I don't know what the average time between a show like this coming out and it getting an English dub is, but it's been like 6 months or so I think that ship is sailing. Okay, so like talking about the actual show, I'm just gonna assume that you've seen the show or have a general idea of what happens because plot recaps are boring and lazy and everything else. I'm just gonna talk about what important things I want to talk about. First episode was very fun. It's very much a springboard for just telling the Japanese TV watching masses who a Sin Keist and a Sol Badguy are, but I think it does its job like fairly well. I love Sin's cartoon sound effects, and I really love the stained glass art for the flashbacks and explaining the plots of previous games. If there's one thing I can't fault this show for, it's the art. The show was entirely made in Blender for all of its 3D animation, and I think it works really well. I can't really imagine it looking any different, and I love how they blend the 2D art in for the backgrounds and give everything lots of silhouettes. It looks really nice. The main cast is Sin as the main character, the first time he's the main character instead of Sol, Sol as Sin's uncle and the babysitter, Kai and Dizzy, except we won't be seeing much of them, Ramlethal, Elfelt, Jacko, Johnny, Biken, Leo, and Vernon all in the first episode, and a little bit later we'll be seeing Bridget, Dr. Paradigm, Axel, and Erica join in, and various cameos from other characters. Some with a surprising amount of screen time despite not having a single line of dialogue like Testament, all the way to the others that get one little drawing in a corner. I think the characters they chose make decent sense. I do wonder how the normal average Japanese citizens who are just watching TV and had never seen Guilty Gear before thought of the relatively brief, condensed version of these characters, because like, imagine being a guy just watching TV and doesn't know what Guilty Gear is, and also you're Japanese in this hypothetical, and you see this bubbly woman with little goober creatures with a smile on her face just disassemble this realistic SWAT team member's machine gun in front of him in like 1 second and then kick his ass.
Oh no! It is the dive rocket launcher! Take action regarding that individual!
Relax, I'll handle it.
I am the angry pumpkin.
And then she goes to being serious and never makes a joke in the rest of the show. Imagine that whiplash. I really want to know if that happened to anyone. And of course, how can we forget our brand new stars, Unica and Nerville fucking Hammer. Oh my.
合衆国上院議員、反ギア派、ネルビル・ハマー。
We'll be getting back to him. So yeah, the writer for the show, or series composition, whatever that means, was Norimitsu Kaiho, who has been the main writer for a lot of Guilty Gear stuff in the past. He did a bunch of drama CDs, including Night of Knives, Guilty Gear Extra, which is a manga that exists, and everyone that I've talked to that's read it didn't like it, but hey, we all miss sometimes. And then he worked on the story mode for Guilty Gear X, XX, and Guilty Gear 2, which, by the way, Guilty Gear 2 was a very fun game, genuinely. If I bought it for full price in 2007, I could see how I could be mad at it, but nowadays get it for like $3 and then crank it down to easy and just enjoy your Sol Badguy punching people with adventure. Very enjoyable. Anyway, so yeah, we kind of just reused the plot point of Dizzy being trapped under the castle in a big crystal, except it's both Kai and Dizzy. How heartwarming. Unica crashed their wedding, did all that, said she's from the future to kill all gears, and it's up to Sin and Sol to go find her. Okay, let's just talk about Unica. Unica is a very workable template for a new character. Time traveler from the future, she's evil, she's not gonna be evil by the end of this. Sure, we can work with that. This design is really good, especially in the show where she's got goggles and the cat ears. I really think it gives off this nice, cold alien feeling. I have no problems with this visually. I think the scenes we get with her and Sin fighting are cool. I love how she gets shot in the face by Sol. That's awesome. Do more scenes like this. The only thing not right with the scene is Sol didn't specify what year and specific make of the gun he's using. We can guess, but I want Sol to say it. Anyway, Unica has her lesbian scene of Bridget, and like, listen, the fact that they just showed lesbian romance with a trans character and had it work and make sense plot-wise and have Bridget's character arc kind of meet with Unica's on being your true self and do that all on Japanese cable is fucking awesome. Like, holy shit. I don't give a fuck about shipping in the slightest, but these two are just like an actual great pair. They finally gave Bridget fans an actual meal plot-wise and made it not shit. Real shame about Bridget fucking getting her shit kicked in to be officially once and for all the weakest Guilty Gear character. She got bodied by one Nerville clone. Fuck. Nerville. Let's go fucking strangle him, huh? Nerville is actually like most of my problems with the show. I literally can't get around everything else I need to say without mentioning him. He's the show's main antagonist, and they try to keep that a secret for some fucking reason. The actual second they announced this character, I think we could all guess he would be a villain. Just look at him, actually mustache-twirling villain who ties ladies to train tracks. The only question is, would he be a main villain of the show, or were they still hiding the real one? Or more importantly, would he be a cool villain or a campy villain? Spin-offs and side games in Guilty Gear are filled with a long, illustrious line of shit-flingers that die and are never heard from again. Such greats as
Leopoldon, Judgment, Odious, Gig,
and the one we still think about in our hearts, Pro. Going in, I was completely fine with Nerville being one of these, preferably more like Judgment or Crow, where they're over the top and fun. Of course, if they somehow got me to actually like this character in the same way I genuinely love characters like Asuka, Happy Chaos, or Errol's as villains, then that's even better. But I was expecting an asshole who's funny and we never see again. Somehow, they tried doing both of these things at the same time and satisfied neither category. And I actually kinda hate him now, despite being so desperate to love him. Okay, so, Nerville's a US Senator. This is already great. I'm an American, I love political drama in Guilty Gear. Genuinely the best scenes in Guilty Gear when they get to exposit a shit ton of real-world facts at you, and I was hoping we'd get some of that from Nerville. There's a scene with Axel where he time travels a bit, and they have the narrator talk about 16th century Japan as Axel gets chased by samurai, and like, that's fucking awesome. Notice how that's a really good scene. More of that, please. When the show was airing before the big twist of Nerville happened, I wrote this as just like a thing I would have done or like prediction, and I still really like this idea. Obviously it was just a rough draft, but I think they could have really leaned into his job more and made a character like Sin have to back up his words in a debate with a skeptical crowd. I think that could have been a real interesting route to take, because as a senator who hates gears, he kind of has a real reason to. Okay, this isn't in the script, I kind of forgot to do this, but so, you know that Lars Canyon stage in Guilty Gear Strive with the massive fucking skeletons in there? Yeah, there's like a calendar that has lore for that stage, and it says that those giant skeletons are still alive and they could come back to life. And also, those are in America somewhere. I would be kind of fucking skeptical. Those are gears. Are they gonna fucking kill me? Maybe. Like, they have a whole backstory with him about how he was traumatized by the Crusades and, like, became a politician to help people after getting rejected from making weapons of mass destruction with this virus that kills all gears. And it's like, damn, they're playing this guy straight. I'm kind of interested in liking where this is going. And we get a bit of that with sweet real-world bullshit with him reading Paradise Lost and Dante's Inferno and him talking about the hate flick limit. Like, yes, this is what I'm here for. And he's working alongside Unica, and then his future self comes through a portal and then eats his present self alive. Now, this is the best scene in the whole fucking show. This is so fucking cool. This is so sick. I love body horror. This is fantastic body horror. It's so unexpected. It's hype. It's such a sharp left turn. I love it. Unfortunately, this is the peak of the show. This is the last scene in episode 5, and the last 3 episodes are bad. I think the show was going to be 10 episodes, and then it got cut down to 8 later, because from here on, the pacing is so fast, and we barely have any room to breathe. I have a high tolerance for Guilty Gear bullshit. I've played all the games, I know the plots, I can explain the plot to other people. I was having to pause and rewind a bit just to figure out what was happening. This one part that really got me is when Nerville's a big storm cloud and Ramlethal shoots Calvados at it in Illyria, which is in Europe, and that stops the invasion temporarily, and lets our heroes regroup in America. Apparently he was in like multiple places at once or something, but I was like so confused on if she shot across the entire Atlantic Ocean to fucking Arkansas from Rome. Also, yes, Nerville might be from Arkansas based on this one shot. I love that, that's perfect. He's from fucking Arkansas. This dude has a castle with a moat and dresses like a vampire in fucking Arkansas. Kai, why did you even invite him to your wedding? The big problem with Nerville, and by extension Unica, is just this one tiny little detail that makes everything with her feel incredibly not planned out and wrong. Nerville raised Unica from birth. He found her in an egg after Kai and Dizzy were both Omega dead and raised her to become an assassin to go back in time and kill all the gears to stop the Second Crusades from happening, which happens in the future. Also, yes, Unica is Sin's sister. They are the dual rulers. Wow! That's me clapping if it doesn't pick up on the mic. Now, if you don't immediately realize the problem with Nerville being the parental figure for Unica, all you need to do is look immediately to the character she is most compared to throughout this entire series, Sin, and look who raised him, Sol. You see how you could see so many traits of Sol's that get reflected in Sin by virtue of being raised by him? Sin has no manners, he's kinda stupid, he goes out and hunts for food by hand using a fucking flagpole, he's super carefree and has no regard for any established rules that prevent him from inflicting his will of ultra generosity onto anyone and everyone. He is the exact mixture of the son of Kai Kisk, who was raised by Sol Badguy, taking the best traits from both. After this, we swap from villain Unica to the Unica that's used in the rest of the show and Strive, and her personality is non-existent. She has none. Look at her interaction lines in Strive.
No, because I want to make you cry.
What?
So this is the power that leads a nation. I see. The strength you have requires some serious vocal prowess. I don't know how to put it into words. I still don't know if I'm ready for this.
ABCs of making a guy fall for you. C.
See?
Hey, so what is this? What info does this give me? You could swap like half of her lines of Ramlethal's, and I don't think I would even be able to tell if I hadn't had so much space in my brain dedicated to the Strive interactions memorized. Okay, like, I know we're getting a bit off topic from dual rulers, but like, these characters are dual rulers. Let's do a bit of a deep dive. Okay, so first off, who is Nerville Hammer? At heart, Nerville is a cunning, talented mad scientist. He's very intelligent, has some amount of charm and persuasiveness, given that he holds a Senate seat and is seen in universe as an elite, respectable man. Enough so that he gets invited to Kai's wedding. Why did you invite him? As shown later, Nerville is a heartless mastermind who sees Unica as only a weapon of mass destruction to be used and discarded when she's finished with her purpose. Now, who is Unica? The following is a very generous reading of her characterization in Strive. Unica is a socially awkward girl who knows a vast amount about combat but very little about others. She is very kind and open to all kinds of learning. She also has an interest in fashion and will comment on characters' outfits in her taunts and some other lines. And according to her in-game bio, her hobby is seasoning and she hates dogs and octopi. What the fuck? She is also a lesbian with a motorcycle that doubles as her sword. That's awesome. What the fuck do you mean your hobby is seasoning?
Like winter, spring, oregano.
Now, if you've noticed, she doesn't really have any traits from Kai or Dizzy besides just virtuousness, and she also doesn't have anything from Nerville, which she absolutely should have, and it's crazy to me that she doesn't. Even for, like, Ramlethal, she keeps her shark teeth in, like, an idle animation, and Elfelt shouts, "I love you, Mom!" in one of her wall break lines, which, even if it's just, like, a stage crowd, like, Rockstar joke, it's still, like, she's probably referring to Errol's, that is her mom. Unica doesn't even mention Nerville in Strive. Nobody does. His name isn't even said anywhere outside of Unica's bio paragraph, and it's just like a recap of the plot of the show. I'm gonna fucking say it. Unica should be weird. She should be a freak. Okay, how about this? Instead of using your taunt lines to talk about fashion, which is a very Daisuke thing to write, but it's also being done by several others, she should be insanely good at reading and judging her opponents at just a glance. She should be guessing and pointing out flaws in their attacks, scheming of ways that she could get them to drop their guard or get an upper hand on them. She should have an evil laugh. Her dad looked like this. She should have inherited that. She should be acting like a creep, not because she's an evil person, but because she literally doesn't know how to act around people. She has no frame of reference. Her current self feels like she's trying to put up a wall of indifference, way more than her finally being her true self. Her natural state should be a bit creepy and rude, like just a bit. Her dad surprised her by turning out to be mega abusive, and the only reason she wasn't hanged is so she could work a job at the US government because she couldn't find it in herself to jump into a new family's arms immediately. She should be angsty. She's working with Giovanna. They should be mean together. Instead, she has lines that mean nothing and give nothing. As it stands, is she gonna be a new main character? Like, what can she even do? Anything that she adds at the moment could be overlapped of Ram, and the only thing I can actually see her doing is hanging out with Giovanna more because she's the only one that can extract a personality out of her. Being around the Keese family will just have them all in an endless loop of thanking each other over and over again. And then in a developer's backyard, they casually drop that one Yunica has a lot of undisclosed settings, as they say, that they can't wait to share in the future, which, if only there was a place where we could have put all of the interesting facts about Yunica. Man, if only there was like something dedicated entirely fucking to her. And then 2, Kai and Dizzy named Yunica, not Nerville. Which, like, okay, man. Did you write her name on the egg with a fucking Sharpie before you died? But, you know, fuck it. Why should Nerville even have one piece of anything to signify that he was a character at all moving forward? It's not like I was interested in this character that clearly had a lot of scrap screen time in the rush to get the series down to 8 episodes and would have had a really interesting arc of going from a traumatized war veteran to a fucking god who spent, quote, infinite time in his own pocket dimension to evolve himself with gene editing until he became a giant web of neurons the size of the fucking moon. Hellbent on destroying all life on Earth to replace himself and making himself look like a fucking creepypasta while giving his final monologue. It's not like that's fucking awesome or anything. It's not like I gave a fuck. The show's a very strong love letter to fans. I just wish it got to actually stick the landing, because as it stands, now we have a show that spends so much of its runtime on plot beats that don't pan out well, and doesn't get to spend nearly as much time as it should on the real fun of Guilty Gear, which is stupid side character interactions and all fun facts. I'm glad we got characters like Dr. Paradigm and Erica getting screen time, but also the absence of characters like Gold Lewis, Geo, and Daryl is like really weird because like, where the fuck are they? Daryl shows up in the final wedding scene for like 2 seconds. Where the fuck were you during the time when the first king got fucking put in a massive ice crystal? Leo was on fucking Zoom calls asking what's going on for like the whole show. Where were you? Also, Gold Lewis and Geo are the president's bodyguards and were nowhere to be seen when the president almost got assassinated. That's literally your one job. What were you doing? If you were in fucking Brazil catching creatures, please let me see that. That's really interesting, please. I wanna like the show because I really did enjoy those first 5 episodes a lot, and even after that, I enjoyed moments from the last 3. I wish that they got to make what they actually wanted to make because it's so clear they had to shave off so much about the barest essentials in the final moments to make it through. Kai and Dizzy get like maybe 3 seconds of actually seeing Yunica before the show's just over. In Xrd, there's these things in the gallery called secret voices, which are little recordings of the playable characters' voice actors talking about working on the game or just Guilty Gear in general, and a lot of them, specifically Kai and Johnny's, I believe, off the top of my head, they talk about how much they would love to do a Guilty Gear anime one day. And that's really awesome that they got to do that. Imagine playing the same character for 20, 25 years, and then seeing them gradually grow up and become more popular until one day they finally get a big anime. That'd be really cathartic. Unfortunately, a lot of the time with TV, a bad ending just really eats through a lot of the potential of it being rewatchable, because like, who's gonna commit to watching just like half of it? Did you know they released a Blu-ray of this show and it's like $200 fucking dollars? This isn't even like a tariffs or shipping fees thing. This is how much it costs inside Japan, and it comes with a little guidebook of the thing with like the character bios and descriptions for the episodes, but the bios are just copy pasted from the website. So like, cool? Why is it $200? That's the only big goodie it comes with. What is the strategy? If you're gonna rob me, give me an art book. Is this the first Blu-ray to sell 0 copies? Who the fuck is buying this? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. Hopefully it wasn't too late. I don't know. I need money. I keep spending it all. I'm trying to get this legendary item known as a STEM degree. I am never fucking getting a job. Subscribe and all of the links. Thank you so much. Means the world. Bye bye. Videos like this are possible because of viewers like you and generous supporters over on Ko-Fi, like KAS. Thank you. And also thank you again to Shmuel for editing this because he put in so many details that weren't necessary and I didn't ask him. Did you see Unica and Nerville blinking in the Ace Attorney courtroom scene? He didn't need to do that, but he did. Incredibly talented. Please go follow him. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go back to something.